Good morning. Today on Customer States What, please perform 60,000 mile service and multi-point inspection. Say no more. So we're looking around the vehicle and we could see, oh, coolant's at level. Look a little further. Oh, we got a rodent present. Feifel is, he is coming knocking. Take a look at the brake fluid. Well, it's clean, but you know what? It's a little low. You know what causes low brake fluid, guys? Low pad life. Well, this customer here is 2017 with 60,011 miles. They are on time with their service, ladies and gentlemen. They are on time with their service. 60,012. Oh, I put a mile on the road test. So you know what, guys? Let's take it up top. So now that we took it up top, customer was interested in the tire wear. They want to know the condition of their tires. Well, I could tell you this much. The condition of their tires, they're going a little Googats on them. We got some abnormal wear on the outside edges. That's probably what they saw, because all they really do see is the outside edge. There's no abnormal wear or damage to the front suspension, but the front brake pads are 2.5 millimeters. So we're going to recommend front brake pad replacement, rotor replacement, and sensor replacement, because we don't turn rotors here at the dealer. What else we got? Oh yeah, we got that rusted exhaust sleeve, stressed with flavor. And you know what? It got a little black soot coming out. It got a little puff coming. Go a little further back. Yeah, we got some abnormal wear on the rear tires as well. No, customer was thinking when they asked about their tire wear. Oh yeah, look at this. We got some real good abnormal wear on the inside edge over here. Look at that dark line right there. Get a little further back on the vehicle. There's not that much flavor back here. Shouldn't, being a 2017 with 60K on it. Look a little further. Oh, guess what? The rear brakes are 2.5 millimeter as well. So we're going to recommend to replace the rear brake pads and rotors. We charge a little more for the rear brakes because they're electronic calipers, so you have to use a scan tool to bring in the calipers. We'll show you that operation with the new Top Dawn diagnostics. Alright, I hope they buy the job. Or they better hope the light's green, because they ain't stopping. Customer came in for the 60,000 mile major service, which includes oil change, engine air, cabin air filter, topping off of all the fluids. They were interested in tire prices. They didn't go for the tire prices, but you know what? We sold front and rear brakes and a brand new exhaust sleeve. So we're going to go through this repair together, guys. Let's go. So now we're up to the exhaust sleeve. I got to give my Mac tool guy a shout out. We got the nice cutoff wheel. So what we do here is we just cut a slit. There's one. There's two. Give it a smack. Diddly-ack. Sleeve is out. New sleeve. Sleeve is in. Now we just tighten it up. .13 millimeter. Push them together. Exhaust is repaired. Googats is fixed. We're going to go through what's needed to replace the front brake pads and rotors. We have a 1/2" ratchet breaker bar, snap-on with a 21 millimeter. We also have a 1/2" impact with a swivel 21 millimeter. We have a T30 to get the rotor off. We have a hammer. We also have the special caliper grease. You want the part number, there it is right there, and we got some high temp anti-seize. We also have a pry bar and a screwdriver. We have a caliper hanger. We have a pocket screwdriver, and we have a very, very thin punch. This punch, we're going to be punching out these pins right here, because it's what holds the pads in place. Pin here, pin here. 21 millimeter, right there, right there. Wear sensor, right here. I particularly like to use my pry bar and screwdriver to spread, giggity, the brake pads to bring in the caliper pistons. There is a special tool to do that, but you know what? I'm flat rate. I want to do this job quickly and efficiently, so I'm just going to use those pry bar and screwdriver. So let's get into replacement. Just knocking out the pins. That pops out there. Oh, saving that, don't let that fall down. Take the pins out. I like to take these and clean them up on the wire wheel, so the hardware is looking good and pretty while we go in. So now to spread the pads, I take my fancy screwdriver here, I spread one, get in there. So that's one double piston side, that's compressed. Stick my pry bar in there because when you go do the other one, it's going to push the other ones back. Replacing that sensor, so nothing to worry about. So you see how both those pads are back now? Switch sides. Make sure both pads are fully back. That way. Take the pad out, that's one. Take the next one out, that's two. And now the pistons on both sides of the caliper are fully compressed, ready for pad replacement. But what we're going to do next is we're going to clean all the surfaces and apply grease to certain spots. Next step, we'll get the caliper off, we'll bust these 21s free, hang the caliper, and then we'll get the rotor off with the T30. Smack it with a hammer and get that rotor off. Let's bust those 21s. There's one. Get our fancy caliper holder up on the upper control arm. Take the light out of here. Stick it up here, out of the way. And what we do is we go through here and we hang it. The reason for that is we're not going to put stress on the rubber brake line here. Now that we have the brake caliper off, we got our T30. That came out really good. Usually it doesn't. Sometimes you got to use an impact screwdriver to get that Torx out. So now that we got that Torx out, give it a good hit. Rotor's out. We take our wire brush, take the pin out first, clean whatever you can. What I like to do, I like to wire brush the hub. Make sure that rotor's sitting flat. You could take a descaler to this area if you'd like, but once again, we're flat right here. So we do that. Little dab of anti-seize around here because we don't like to screw the next guy. At least I don't, because you never know. You might just be the next guy. And also, right where the rotor pin goes, I put a little bit of anti-seize there as well. So now we're cleaning the caliper surfaces. We spray it with a little bit of brake clean first. So right where the pads sit. Get a wire brush, clean it out. Try and get as much debris out as possible. Top and bottom. Give the pad surface a little scuff. Make sure there's no material left from the old pad. Be careful of the seals not to damage them. A little more brake clean. Clean it up. And now we're going to apply that grease. So we'll go in for a closer shot here. These are the surfaces that are cleaned. And those are the surfaces that are going to get some grease. Here is my easel of grease. Paint a little happy bush in there, you know, no mistakes. A little bit right there. A little bit right there. A little bit right there. And you know what? Why not? Put a little bit right there too. Nice little happy, 4 nice happy bushes. No mistakes. Get a little closer. Greased up there, greased up there, greased, greased. So now we're ready for install of the rotor. Brand new rotor has been installed. Do not tighten this T30 too tight or it will break. It's nice and snug, so the rotor is sitting nice and flush to the hub. So here we have our old pads. As you can see, the striations of the pad, we had abnormal wear caused by the rotor. Here are brand new pads. Nice and thick, giggity. Also, where we did put grease, I like to put a little extra grease on the edges of the brake pad here and right here to where it comes in contact with the caliper. If the brake pads do not have a sticky pad already built in, I like to put a little dab of grease right where the caliper piston sits on the pad, just to muffle any noise that could be made. So we're gonna peel this off, put the grease on the edges, and we're gonna install it into the brand new setup. Also, we have our hardware freshly cleaned here and here, the pins. We took them to the wire wheel. They're nice and clean and ready for install. We got the sticky off. We have a little bit of grease installed there, a little bit of grease installed there. This is where the brake pad wear sensor came through, and that's where the brake pad wear sensor is going to sit. So this pad is the inside pad. So grab it by the edges, slip it on in, giggity. Inner pad's installed. Sticky is off, a little bit of grease, a little bit of grease. Grab it by the edges. Brake pad's installed. Now we're going to install the top hardware with the pins. I usually like to put a little bit of grease on the tip, giggity. Just stick it on in the hole. Usually do one side first. That's in there. Tap it with a hammer on the back side. And now that pin will bottom out. You can't bang it in too far, giggity. How many giggities is that so far, guys? Let me know in the comments. So we got the next one. Grease the tip. Push this down. Hit the back side. Pin bottomed out. Hammer took the light. Don't forget this hanging here, guys, because I bought 2 of these originally. I now only have 1. Have no idea where the other one is. No idea. So we got our brake pads and hardware freshly installed. Now we just have to install the wear sensor. A good rule of thumb whenever you have brake pad warning sensors, always look on the chassis side connector to see if you have any corrosion in these pins. If you do, that's going to cause high resistance in the circuit and give you a false warning for premature pad wear. So always check this out, clean them up if you have to, and put some dielectric grease in there. So I cleaned the pins out, installed a little bit of dielectric grease right there, so now we're ready to install the wear sensor. We have the brand new wear sensor. Goes into the pad, this side facing the rotor. Just push it in there. Right there. I'm not going to install it into here yet because we still have to do a brake fluid exchange. So what we do is we plug it in behind the brake line. Come on, plug it in, and secure it. Now to secure it, you slip it in, giggity, right there, and you twist, and it has a locking tab right there. See how that just locked into place right there? Now that sensor is installed and sturdy. And that's how you do a front brake pad and rotor and sensor replacement in a 2017 Q5.